today's project, we've already gotten started on. Sorry, I didn't get the camera turned on right away. I'm going to see if I can flip the Clubmans here and get it to get the bars a little lower in the front. I couldn't do it originally because I was hitting the sides of the tank here with the bars. It's such a wide front tank, wide front on the tank, is what I should say. I was hitting the bars on the tank if I tried to turn it all. So what I discovered though the other day is that I flipped the risers, which normally are pulled back, to go forward. And that makes it much more comfortable to ride as it is because I got long arms, long body. They were back here. It was comfortable when you're just cruising around town, but to get up to any speed, and it wasn't very comfortable constantly having to have your arms and your pulled back so far. So a little farther forward, you're leaning more into the wind, it's much more comfortable. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to attempt to flip them now, to move them a little farther forward and lower. And I think that'll be a better look and a little, let's use a socket, I don't want to chew that up. Give me a little better look. One question I really have is, are my cables going to be too long?
Alright, so here I'm just stripping the brake lever off. Going over here, taking the clutch lever and that control assembly off. The grip off the left side.
If all this works the way I hope it will, I'm going to have to relocate my ignition switch. The ignition switch is right underneath here. Get a different ignition switch and wire it in and run it out the side of the headlight mount or something. I'm going to have to reroute my throttle cables. Throttle cables are an impossible angle. I'm going to bind it all up. So,
we're just having a little issue that the cables are going to be a little too long. So I've got to reroute everything. So what you're going to see here is a bunch of me. Here I'm taking the headlight loose from its brackets so that I can reroute the cables through there. Also take the bracket off the front lower triple tree clamp so I can pick the best location to route everything through.
I don't know if this is going to work. Cables might be just too long, which means I have to order short ones if I can't figure out how to reroute them and make it work.
Alright, so I'm getting the handlebars into the position I think I want them in, and then from there figure out where my cables need to be routed. Here I'm just trying to make sure I have them in approximately the right position, and here's actually where I removed the lower triple tree clamp cover, thinking I might want to route them behind that, and I do end up routing one of the throttle cables behind that. And now it's time to remove the tank so that I can make sure, you really want to make sure that all your curves on the cables are gentle flowing curves so that you don't create excess drag and wear. Last thing you want is one of these things sticking on you. So I'm just disconnecting pull cable from the carb to make it a little easier for right now. Well, not completely disconnecting it, but removing the tension off of it.
Undid the throttle cable down there so we can get them hooked up here. So I can reroute them.
Removing the throttle cables from the housing. Trying a few different ways of routing them. I want to make sure that they, like I said, have nice gentle curves to them, but at the same time aren't sticking way out looking ridiculous. So I'm trying to find a way to route them. I end up routing the two separate throttle cables to push and the pull in basically completely different routes, just because of the length and the angle they come out of the housing at. You'll kind of see that in the end when I'll do a walk around of the bike, and you'll be able to see kind of where I routed everything. The front brake, of course, is easy. It's hydraulic, and its position doesn't change when you turn the handlebars. It runs straight down the front fork, so finding a good route for that was easy. The clutch cable was a little more difficult because it's such a stiff cable, and where it comes out on the handlebars, it was not lined up very well around the headlight. Throttle cables were the most difficult, probably, just because you really want a nice smooth operation on those, and there's two of them, and really had to fill a lot here with finding a good. You'll see me constantly rerouting, and then I go through and I turn the handlebars to one lock, to the center, back to the other lock, checking the throttle operation, checking for drag, any tendency to stick, finding out, watching where they kink, anywhere they might create a sharp bend when you turn one way or the other, trying to straighten those out. That's all I'm doing here, is just working with the throttle cables, trying to find that smooth curve that doesn't look ridiculous hanging way out the front of the side of the bike. I use some zip ties to hold them against a couple of brackets and a couple other cables up in the front so that they stay in that position and they don't shift out of position when I'm turning. And I finally find a decent arrangement here, I think. This is me fiddling with that clutch cable. Turns out the adjuster on the handlebar grip has previously been partially stripped out, so I only have a small range of adjustment on the grip, or the lever, I guess I should say. But there's only a small amount of adjustment range there. Double checking that the grip or the lever angle, I want them at an angle that's easy to pull from the seated position without stressing my wrists too much. My wrists are a little bit sensitive to repeated pulls. We're just making sure the brake light still works, and trying to get the throttle cable hooked back up and adjusted properly. Start putting everything back together. Okay, so here the carb is just a little bit flooded from all my twisting the grip over and over again, so it takes me just a second to get it started and cleaned out. Okay, there it is. Cable could be routed neater, but that's about all I can get with as long as they are at the moment. Sorry for the muffled talking, I have my helmet on. But that's today's work.